Hello. Been away for about a week, so I haven't gotten a lot done. I think the last you all saw was cutting out the pin board. These are the pins. Technically, those are half pins. Those are full pins, and then 1, 2, 3, 4. Those are the tail recesses that take the tails. So 1, 2, 3, 4. We got the 4 tails, and then these are the pin recesses that are missing. It does take some finagling. That's what I've been doing the last day or two since I've been home. Cleaning out the recesses so that way they're nice and even. These came out pretty good, but that's what we're looking for. And I mentioned it when I was cutting the joint, when I was laying out the lines for the markers, that you don't have to worry about internal joint. You don't have to worry about the line that goes along the inside because it's hidden by the corner. You'll never see it. Whereas the lines out here, and these are all pen lines, they're going to get planed off, and there's got to be some taken off because it's not a perfect fit. But by the time it's all finished, it's going to look very nice. And as you can see, it's labeled. B goes to B, A will go to A, because once these pieces are taken apart, those two pieces are going to look very similar to each other. The front and back are distinctly different because they are different sizes, so that helps. So I want to lay out the pins on the front piece. I won't cut them because it's getting late, and I just don't have the time, but I figured I'd show you what I'm doing. So right now, all I'm doing is just removing this piece so I can go ahead and work with it. That's the back. That's out of the way for now. We don't really need it. That's the front, and you can see on the front there's the triangle that matches up to this, so that way I know that those two pieces go together. They're the front and back, and the orientation. So now I know if that's the front piece, this piece will go here because of that respective triangle. So I know that when I link these two up, they're going to go in that orientation. So what I am going to do is put this piece in here. I'm going to just for some stability, I'm going to put that in here, and take just a regular scrap piece of wood, and I'm gonna rest this piece so it's the same level as this one, and that'll just be used as a platform. Makes it easier for me to hold up. And I am going to make sure that I've got this, and actually this is it is fairly easy to see. I know that this is the bottom. That's the bottom, both facing me, so that is good. I have got a light here that I'm just going to bring in close. Might get in the way a little bit of what you can see, but I need to be able to see inside of the joint. I don't want there to be any light. So I'm going to take a minute. I'm going to make sure the top of this piece matches up to the top of this piece, and I'm looking down inside to make sure that the bottom of this recess is right on this plane here, because that's how we get the nice tight corners. And I know over the years of doing this, that's where I tend to make my mistakes. So just bear with me for a second while I line this up. I'm not really worried about the outside because, like I said, that's going to be planed off anyway. So I'm getting this even. Let's grab the square so I can line those pieces up. And that's way out, so let's bring that in. Not quite there. And all right, we're gonna move move this piece just a bit. Micro adjust. Okay, that's even. That is all looking pretty good. Okay, so now I'm putting quite a bit of pressure down, so that way it doesn't move. This corner here is not perfect, but I can still trim a little bit off the recess from where I cut that. And you know what? I'm just gonna nudge this one just a bit. It's a very tiny amount, but I can just barely see some light coming through the bottom that now I can't. And if I do make it too tight, I can always take a shaving off the inside of that front piece so that way it fits. If I was using softwood, I'd probably use a pencil. Here I'm going to use a marking knife with a very thin blade. Can't really get this one in there because the blade is just too thick, so why I really like this one. Again, I'm pushing down pretty hard with my left hand. I'm just going to take another glance here. I'm still not perfectly happy with that. There we go. I think that's better. Yeah. Okay, and so I'm going to take this. I'm going to almost like I'm reaching underneath this tail. I'm going to go very lightly, and I'm not really. Right now, I'm looking at the end grain of the front board, so I am. Let's see, it's not really. I'm not cutting the fibers. I'm just kind of moving them out of the way. So if I go deeply here, it will be seen. However, those fibers will swell up with the glue and it won't never show up. So I'm making sure I'm pushing down hard with my left hand because at this point I don't want anything to move. And that's might be a little loose still, but yeah, we're gonna you know what, I'm just gonna scooch that just a bit and redo those lines. And I'm skipping over the sides because I'm already in position. I'm doing the to me the right hand side first, and then I have to switch my body a little bit to get in there to the left hand side. And okay, so now what I've got are some pretty deep score lines on the end, just to make it a little bit more visible to me. I'm going to put these pen lines in there. I've got Luke, my cat, and today's his gotcha day, so he's been with us a year today. He's out here with me, as well as one of the black cats, one of his siblings. I can't tell because there's two black cats. They're from the same litter, and I can't tell from this angle which one that is in the corner, but Luke is stalking him or her, so you might hear some crashing in a minute. Alright, so what I'm going to do next is whereas if we talked about this, if you remember, I said the most important angle of the dovetail was this one that goes straight across right here. That's going to correspond with a line going straight down from here, whereas in this side I want to, like, this is coming out, this is coming out, this is coming out, so I'm going to cut on that side of the line, I cut on that side of the line, the waist side of the line, so these are very important because that's what's going to match these respective angles. So when I'm cutting the tails, I don't have to be perfectly precise with the angle that they're going down. If they're even, they look better. However, they're still going to work because I'm matching them up. I'm matching them up here. What I'm going to do now, just so I can see, I'm going to draw some lines coming down off of these, and they don't have to be right in the exact spot because I can just use these as guidelines. As long as I'm parallel to it, I'm going to be fine. I'm going to turn this around because as I get closer, the beam of my square has less and less room, so I want as much of the beam on the end as possible. It's just a lot more stable that way. And you'll notice how I'm not really being too precise with where the line starts and stops, because this is the outside face, which is going to get planed anyway. This was this piece, so what I'm going to do here is just put this up there. I'm going to make a little mark on the inside, just so I know where to cut the cut down to. So let's do that. All right, so now what's going to happen, can that be seen? Yep. What's going to happen next, which I'll do at another time, because I still have to mark out the other side, but I'll do one of them to video. I'm going to saw down this line till I get to my stop line. You know, do that all the way across. I've got to chop out the three tail recesses, and then I'm going to finagle it. I'm going to leave it a little bit fat, and it's not going to fit right off the first time, but then I'm going to then make sure that I get it, it's actually going to go that way, but I'm going to make sure that everything, by the time I'm all finished, that everything fits and marries up to each other, get the fourth side done, and then we'll put the box together. I'm going to call it a night because the saws are sharp, I can do that, but the chisels, I've been using the chisels now to cut out these two, and I want to work with a sharper face. So I'm going to do some sharpening before I get back to it. So I'm going to stop here for the night, but that is the layout for the pin board and what we have to do to get that done. The next step is to cut them out, and I will see you at that point.